Nell here today with a quick overview of the spheres of impact. It's one of my trademarked frameworks, and it's really the core organizing principle for Going First, my book, and so much of the work that we do with purpose driven leaders. It's intentionally really simple. It has emerged from these 15 years and hundreds of people I've worked with on aligning the way that they work and live with the impact that they want to have in the world. And so the spheres of impact is simply a dashboard to understand all of the inputs that we can choose to make in living purposefully and having those desired impacts in the three dimensions around us, me and world. And so it was Mark Twain, who is another Hartford native like me, from Connecticut, who said, if I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter. And so 15 years later, I have boiled this down to the 6 spheres of impact that I have seen everyone have in their life, right? This is one of those fabulous MISI frameworks, if you're in the consulting world, mutually exclusive and collectively exhaustive. So I have yet to find anyone who has an input that they do in their life toward purpose that doesn't fit on this diagram. So briefly, the 6 spheres are self, which is intentionally placed foundationally at the center of the diagram. And these are all of the things that we do to optimize our well-being, right? Whether that's eating a healthy breakfast or meditating or getting the sleep that we know we need or talking to friends in the ways and as regularly as we know we need. All of that stuff is absolutely foundational to the impact that we want to have. It is not indulgent or, kind of nonsense self-care in some new world way. It is strategic, intentional investment in that ultimate impact. The second sphere is also below the fold and foundational, and that's the work and the input that we invest in family and friends. So now you're talking about, encouraging kids to explore and be adventurous and learn, or the meals that you prepare or have prepared for your family and the way that they're healthy or nutritious or mindful or locally sourced, whatever that might be. Also just the ways that we support our family members or our friends and help them to be confident, best versions of themselves, right? I think we can undervalue some of these inputs and these investments that we make in family and friends as not a form of impact. But if you think about nurturing and raising empathetic humans, for example, I don't know that there's a much bigger direct impact that we could have then as parents in whatever form that parenting happens. So self and friends and family sit sort of below the fold in the diagram, and then above the fold, the 4 other spheres that we tend to think about a bit more commonly and indeed matter. So first, of course, we think about our jobs, right? And many of us spend more waking hours at some form of work than anywhere else. So the core sphere here that I talk about is your job, right? The specific roles and tasks that you are paid or somehow compensated for doing and the impact that they can have, which might be, your careful accounting records and analysis, which enables a company to know and to recognize if there's a pay gap between different genders or racial groups at the company, for example, right? So yes, accountants, you too have absolute levers for impact in your job. I separate that though from workplace, because what I've seen with people over this time is that indeed there might be real specific impact in your job, but there also are ways that you can have real impact and achieve your own purpose at the workplace beyond your job role. And so this might come up in things like recruiting or mentoring, might be participation in an employee resource group, whatever label you have for those, but the groups that ally different ethnic groups or gender identities or other subgroups of your workforce. That can be a really rewarding way for people to live their purpose at work. Beyond work, of course, there is community, and whether that's geographically local to you or a global online community, there are ways to be board members or, again, mentors or volunteers, or more informal, just participants in community activities and events. And finally, on the outside, we talk about money. We actually talk about money, money, money in the book because not that it's the most important, it's just a form of investment like all of these others. But we talk about what you buy as the first element of money, what you donate to as not for profit involvement or campaigns, and then what you invest in. And none of this is based on some minimum net worth, right? If you buy paper towels, you have a choice about how you spend that money and where you buy them from and which brand you buy. Similarly, on the investing side, even the smallest IRA or E-Trade or retail investment account absolutely has choices about aligning that money with your values. And just simply retail banking, just where your checking account sits, can matter, right? So there are an increasing number of B Corp certified banks, as well as Black owned banks and other community institutions that can be really powerful ways to live your money with the values and the impact you want to have. So that's an overview of the spheres of impact. Tons of ways to play with the dashboard, lots of guidance on how to play with the dashboard in the book and specifically in the playbook, as well as free downloads available here and ongoing stories and tools and insights in my newsletters. So hope that you love them. Let me know what the spheres reveal for you. One of my favorite spoiler alert, results of the spheres of impact is that it often helps us recognize or give ourselves credit for things that we are doing that absolutely have impact, but we just kind of took them for granted. So maybe there's something like that waiting for you in your work with the spheres. Have fun with it.